Hey guys, I'm L the Plug. Welcome to season 3 of Unpacking Fruity Loops Wednesday tutorial. Today we're gonna learn about something that will actually improve your music skills and make you think in a different way on how to control your volume function or the functional sense that you have when you control your volume. So before, I'm going to teach you guys about slots. So basically with slots, most producers get confused that you don't need to buy a hardware reverb. So slots are meant for such. If you want to buy a hardware reverb, you can buy a hardware reverb and connect it the way you want to connect it. If you want to buy a filter, a hardware filter that you can place in your studio just for the sense that you prefer hardware, you can, but your studio will be too compressed with a lot of hardware, forgetting that your studio has to be too compressed, that it's only you and what you're doing, so you can actually get the sense of how your music will be. So Fruity Loops decided that no, let's create a software that will actually accommodate those who don't want to buy such hardwares. So Fruity Loops actually decided to give you guys a software. So meaning when I'm software, I'm talking about the fact of side chaining. Most, back in the days, you will have to have a machine, a hardware to sidechain whatever you want to sidechain. So Fruity Loops actually made it easier for you. You don't need a mixer when you have Fruity Loops, unless if you're using Ableton Live, because Ableton Live you'll be using it's meant for live music. So you're using hardware, you're actually using instruments, so that's where you can use a mixer. So with Fruity Loops you don't need such. Your mixer is already there on the software. So going back to what we're gonna learn about today, it's about volume. So with volume you can create the actual sense that you get with a new aged or any hardware that you can hardly imagine, or that you can actually imagine if it's possible for you to imagine a new software. I will give you credit for such. So volume today we're going to focus on how to create functionality with volume, and I'll give you a glimpse on how link controller works. So right now just gonna put my typical functionalities on track latency and delay. So when I'm done with that, just gonna put our normal latency of 512, which I realized that most producers prefer using. So back to the volume controller. So you're a real producer now, you decide that no, I had enough of softwares, I need to get hardware. No, you don't need such. You already have your mixer on your software. So I'll teach you guys about link controller when I'm done showing you the functionality of volume. So when you want to create a sequence, with your modulator or knob, volume knob. This is what you can do for for amateurs, not being typical, but if you're a beginner, this is what you can do to control your volume or to create functionality on your volume knob. So I'm just gonna put a preset and make a typical chord. And this can be considered as a scale. On season 4 I'll teach you guys about scales and how you can actually create a melody that will make sense. So I created a chord, put it on my playlist. As you can see, there's the automation clip of my volume. I've created automation clip. So on this automation clip you can create a sequence. So from 1 to 2. So this is how it works. You have 1 and 2, and the middle notch or knob, it's our 0 tension. So this is what you can actually do when you create your sequence. So as you can see, it's inset 1. Sorry for that, I have to put my GMS on inset 1. Inset 1, as you can see. Let me detach. Okay, so 1 to 0 to 2 tension. So I'm gonna create a sequence from my 1 to 0 to 2 tension. So I'm gonna create a simple sequence for beginners. My volume is on 100, which is 0 dB. You can actually go higher than 0 dB. So that's our 0 tension. So so there we go. So it's from 100, 0, that's our 1 to 0 tension. So it's 100 to half of 100, and 100, half, 100, half, 100, half. So that's a simple sequence to create. So that's our zero tension, 1 to 2, zero tension. So my 1 it's 100, 2 it's 50. So when you play on the playlist, there's a functionality. Your knob, it's functional. So now you understand how to create functionality on your knob, volume knob. Once you understand how to create functionality on a knob, you can start creating perfect musical sense with your volume modulator or knob. So my 1 to 2 tension will be changed from 50 to a quarter of a quarter of 100 or half of 50. So when you play, your pattern that you did on automation clip, wait, just make a few changes. 100, 80, put my attention 1 on 80. When you play your beat, there's a function. So once you know how to create a sequence with the automation clip, you will practice how to create your own sequence so your volume can be functional, or so your volume can make sense. So you can see there's a difference. So these are the functionality that you find on your mixer. So our present mixers actually have such effects, but you don't really need to have a hardware mixer when you understand Fruity Loops. So on our next Wednesday tutorial, I will teach you guys how Autolink actually gives sense to this functionality. So just gonna show you a typical idea. Just wait. So when you select Autolink, there you go. You can see link 1. You link your MIDI controller, you link your output MIDI or input MIDI on link 1. As you can see, it's written MIDI controller. An internal controller, it's insert 1, as you can see on your map, which is your volume. And mapping formula, you can see it's input. So mapping formula has certain functions that you need to set so they can come to functionality. So on our next tutorial I will show you guys how to actually link your MIDI input or output to link 1 of your remote control setting, and how to activate your internal controller on insert 1 volume. So it's pretty simple and pretty easy. So once you know how to use such, it will be easy for you to understand a lot of things, a lot of functions that you can use. So just to clear what I've said, as you can see, link 1, insert 1 volume, insert 1, that's your insert 1 volume. So you actually remote controlling your volume. So on map formula, those are the presets that you can actually use. So on our next tutorial we might actually focus on launchpad xy minus y, which is a formula. There's time also. So remember that I told you that without time music can't actually make sense. And on our season 5 or 5th, I will teach you guys how you can actually compose music for gadgets, which will be very interesting for a lot of producers. I'm Elder Plug. See you next week Wednesday, or see you on Sunday when I post short clips for beginners. Thank you for watching.